In 2 Corinthians 6, verses 8 through 10, the Apostle Paul gives us a series of paradoxes. And verse 10 is one that I would like us to think about today. And that's where he writes, sorrowful yet always rejoicing. Now, that is one of those paradoxes that we don't like. It's one we would prefer to be either or, because the idea of sorrow and joy all at the same time is very difficult for us to comprehend. In fact, sorrow or discomfort is something that we go to a great extent to avoid, don't we? We don't like to be uncomfortable. We don't like the idea of pain. We don't like the idea of brokenness in our world. We would far rather go to wherever we can, do whatever we can to find a happy place, a place where we can get away from all this. Yet Paul recognizes in his own life, and he indeed did face a lot of sorrows, specifically with the church in Corinth, but he recognizes that all of us, every human being that walks the face of the earth, will have sorrow. Now, what do we do with that sorrow? How can we be sorrowful yet rejoicing? And Paul says always rejoicing. Well, it's a matter of perspective, because Paul recognized, first of all, that because of the finished work of Jesus Christ, because Jesus had accomplished the ministry and the work that he set out to do here on earth, and he now rules and reigns in heaven, there is a reason for great hope. There's something to look forward to. We're always looking forward to the coming of Jesus. Or if we pass away or we die, that we will be with him, realizing that this world is temporary. Any sorrows that we have are temporary. But there's also something else that Paul laid out in Romans chapter 8, where he reminded us that everything works together for good for those who love God or are called according to his purpose. In other words, if you're a believer in Jesus Christ, we serve a sovereign God who is in control of all things. And it may not feel good, it may not go the way we want it to, and we will still face sorrow, I promise. But underneath all the sorrow, we have a hope that's greater than all that. We have a basis for how we live our lives. We have something to look forward to. We have a foundation that we can rest in. So though we face those sorrows, we can always rejoice, and our rejoicing is in the Lord. In Philippians 4:4, Paul wrote this, rejoice in the Lord always. Again, I will say rejoice. You see, Paul is saying, don't rejoice when your circumstances are right or when life is going the way you want it to. Rejoice in the Lord. He is sovereign, he is good, he is loving, he is gracious, and he is kind, and he loves you and is coming again. Our hope should be in the Lord, and when it is in the Lord, we have great reason to rejoice. I'm Bob Orner, and I'd like you to think about that.